Hello, everybody. My name is Frank D'Onofrio, and I'm here with Coy Griffin. Coy is a founding member of Cowboys for Trump, and he happens to be from the great state of New Mexico.
The greatest state.
And if anybody is privy to any of my work on NewRightNetwork.com, I broke the story on New Right Network 2 days ago that the governor of New Mexico implemented the red flag laws, and now the governor has the right to confiscate your guns. Coy, also, she made it very clear that if the sheriffs don't like the law, that they can quit. So tell us a little bit about it from the New Mexico perspective.
Awesome, absolutely. And I can tell it to you from a political perspective of New Mexico as well, because I'm also a county commissioner in a southern county that is directly affected by a porous border. And that's the reason why Cowboys for Trump was started. It's completely grassroots, and it started just as an effort to stand up and support our president as he showed strong leadership in regards to securing our border and keeping our community safe. So we went out to D.C. Last February of 2019. We rode 170 miles in the middle of February, in the middle of the freezing cold and rain and ice, down the Potomac River to be a sign of support for our president. The platform has grown into what it is today. It just continues to get stronger and get bigger because it's grassroots, and we all know that what grows naturally grows the strongest. So that's the beauty of our organization. But in regards to our county sheriffs in New Mexico, I'm very involved with our sheriffs as far as supporting our sheriffs. Tony Mace, who is the president of the New Mexico Sheriff's Association, as well as the president of the Western State Sheriff's Association, is the sanctuary resolutions is Tony. He's the brainchild of that. Tony's the one that created those resolutions, got them introduced, and now they're being secured across the United States. But this last week I was able to speak at the Western States Sheriff's Association with 300 county sheriffs standing behind me on the platform. And the message that I brought was this. There's two plans in America today. We have Plan A and we have Plan B. Plan B is in regards to our county sheriffs, our sanctuary resolutions, and making a stand at the county or municipal village level. That's Plan B. Plan A is the ballot boxes in November. If we can't beat them back at the ballot boxes in November, if by some strange reason that I would not be able to know, people were to actually vote Democrats back into office again in November, and we were to remain blue, then we have a Plan B in place, and that's our county sheriffs. But I will tell everybody this: they're not going to get our guns. They're not going to disarm us as a people, because if they disarm us as a people, they have us. And we're talking about the same people that will endorse murdering babies as they're coming out of the womb. These are the same people that want to take our guns away from us. And I believe in America that there's no way that's going to happen. Hey, Mitch.
Well, let's put it into perspective, Coy. Okay?
I'd say hi pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's put it in perspective, Coy. You know New Mexico like the back of your hand, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm just a poor farmer, okay? I've got a couple of heads of cattle and on my farm, and I call 911 to get help. Okay, because some guy who's run across the border has now decided that he's going to take my livelihood and steal my property.
Happens all the time.
Okay, so answer this question: about how long does it take for a police officer to arrive at your door?
Oh, dude, I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico the other day. I was wearing a shirt that said Cowboys for Trump. The young man that was working the counter was some completely obnoxious, triggered snowflake. And he was a little bit mental. Well, anyways, long story short, he wound up calling the cops on me at an Albuquerque motel. In an emergency state, he was freaking out. He was going, this man's threatening me and this and that. He was telling the cops that I was a threat. It took 2 hours for the cops to show up. 2 hours. If I would have really been a threat to this man, he would have been toast
So-
in 2 minutes.
Right.
In 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
Not 2 hours.
So I guess what I'm getting at
We
is
have to have the right to be able to protect ourselves.
absolutely.
I don't want to have to wait for a police officer for 30 minutes to show up to do a job that I'm very capable of doing.
Absolutely.
I know how to handle a firearm probably just as well as most of the police officers.
And you're not going to kill anybody,
No,
but it's
I'm
just
gonna
you're
protect
going to
myself,
protect yourself.
And if I have to kill somebody, I will.
Understand. I mean, listen. Protecting your family and protecting your wife and children has got to be the most important thing in the world.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'll be honest with you, Coy. Tell me this. How many felons who own a gun do you think are going to be giving their guns up voluntarily? Okay, and then how many of those guns that convicted felons own does the government know about?
If making something illegal is a solution to the problem, why don't we make drugs illegal? Why don't we make heroin illegal or meth illegal? Oh, we already have, haven't we? How well is that working out for us? It's not about making firearms. Making firearms illegal is not going to solve the issues with people's hearts. It's not the firearm that's killing people, it's the person that's standing behind the gun. We know that. But this move right here is not a move, it's a globalist move. It's globalism 101. The first thing globalists want to do is to disarm the people that live in their areas. That's what all this overreach infringement on our Second Amendment is. But again,
that's not only Second Amendment, Coy, it's Fourth Amendment due process.
Absolutely
The red flag laws are
Absolutely
Fourth
is.
Amendment due
Absolutely
process.
is. I
You know.
it is. I know it's an infringement. They're stomping all over us through it. But America is not going to allow this to happen. I still believe in the people. I still believe in the heart of Americans. I still believe that we have the resolve to fight through anything. And I'll tell you this much too. I told my buddy this morning, motel room before we left. If we allow our Second Amendment to be infringed upon, we may as well go out to Arlington Cemetery, one of the most sacred places in the whole United States, right outside of town here, and we may as well let that be turned into a place where people can go turn their dogs loose and their cats loose and let them crap and deficit. And anybody that homeless, let them go out there. Let them turn that Arlington Cemetery into a place where they go crap and pee all over. Because that's exactly what we're going to be doing to the memory of every soldier who's ever fought and died for our nation.
Absolutely.
We have to, those men fought and died for our freedoms, for our nation. And we cannot sit back and allow that to be taken from our country, to be taken from us by a bunch of pansy hit job liberals. Anyways, who's Beto O'Rourke in his skinny jeans and his tight little designer shirt going, "We're going to come get your AK-47s. Who, Beto? Are you going to come get them? Or are you going to send some little snot-nosed 18-year-old kid to my front door that's going to get killed?" Is what's going to happen. They're idiots. And the exact people that are going to be getting the calls turned in on the red flag laws are the exact people that you don't want to go knocking on their door. Honestly, I mean, you take some of our vets, some of our Vietnam vets that have seen the absolute worst in the world. They've seen the atrocities of disarmed communities. They've seen it with their own eyes. And then you think those men are going to give you their guns? You're absolutely out of your mind. They're going to get is there's going to be an exchange of gunfire, and the blood's going to spill in a way that doesn't have to be spilled. Mm-hmm. We've got enough blood that's been spilt out there in Arlington. Yeah. In foreign lands. We've got to knuckle down, we've got to fight them back, and we've got to do it with all we got in us, and we've got to make 2020 as red as we can.
Coy, final question. How much work do you think Bloomberg and Soros had in affecting the red flag laws in the state of New Mexico? Okay?
It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. And the thing about New Mexico is New Mexico is ranked 48 out of 50 in economics. We're 49 out of 50 in education. We're an easy state to buy. We're easy. Our political offices are easy offices to buy. And the California money that's coming into New Mexico they're buying our elections out. California has an agenda. The agenda that California has is a state called New Mexico. Our governor is moving the film industry into New Mexico. She's introduced the Green New Deal, the green energy. She's introduced the Green New Deal into New Mexico on the state level. They're trying to disarm us. California's mouths are watering for the state of New Mexico, and damn it, we were there before they were.
I got it. I got it.
Fight them back, and if they want to do that, if that's the way they do things in California, then they can move their butts back to California and they can keep on doing them, but we're sick of them doing it in New Mexico.
Well, Coy, I'm going to thank you very much. You're a patriot. You're a great American. I'm so happy to have met you. We'll keep in touch. And honestly, what I want to do is we have a number of New Right Network Plus. We have a number of podcasts that go on. If you'd like to have a podcast on our show, Absolutely. We'd like to have your voice be heard.
Any platform that we can hit, we would love to.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to introduce you around, and as I said, great to meet you, and let's talk again. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you,
NewRightNetwork.com, Frank D'Onofrio, and NRN Plus. Thank you.